It is the 6th day of July 2022, exactly 33 days to the August 9 polls. I hope and trust your evening is coming along well. A very good evening to you and welcome to Hope TV Newswatch. My name is KIMANI, sitting in for my colleague Tess Njenga. Assisting the sign language interpretation tonight is our very own Boniface Muredi. Remember, you can engage us on our various social media platforms at HopeTV_KE and at KIMANI_ on Twitter. The hashtag to use is HopeTV Newswatch. Let's begin. Now, a new poll by InfoTrack has indicated that Azimio presidential flag bearer Raila Odinga is the most preferred candidate in Nairobi County if elections are held today. According to the new survey, Raila and his running mate Martha Karua have an approval rating of 49%, with his closest rival, Deputy President William Ruto, and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua having an approval rating of 30%. According to the poll results, more details from the poll indicate that Ruth's party's George Ojakoya and Justina Wamai had an approval rating of 5%, while Agano's David Wahiga and Ruth Mutua scored 0.3%. Grace Ongoi begins our bulletin with the following report.
Please,
The latest survey by InfoTrack indicates that there is a lot of indecisiveness among Nairobi's electorate on who to elect as governor, senator, women rep and president in the upcoming election that is only 33 days away. The senatorial position had the highest indecisiveness among the electorate at 44%. Top contenders for senator are Edwin Sifuna, who scored a 44% popularity amongst Nairobi's electorate, with the survey indicating that 12% of Nairobians said they would elect Margaret Wanjiru if elections were conducted today. InfoTrack alluded to the high level of indecisiveness to failure by the two to conduct aggressive campaigns in all 17 constituencies of Nairobi. On the women rep front, 33% are undecided, with incumbent women rep Esther Passaris leading at 46%, followed by UDA's Millicent Omanga at 16%.
we can say that we've not seen senatorial candidates mount individual campaigns as opposed to other candidates. If you go to the grassroots, you'd see an MCA mounting individual candidate campaign, MPs doing the same, but it might be a bit shaky for senatorial. They may be relying on the political party when their political parties have rallies within the county. That's when they're also seen, or that's when they get opportunity to talk to their electorate.
Embattled Senator and Kenya Kwanza's gubernatorial candidate Johnson Sakaja takes a lead at 39% in popularity and is followed closely by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition's Polycarp Igathe at 33%, while independent candidate Agnes Kagure follows at 0.4%, with 24% undecided and another additional 4% did not want to disclose their preferred candidate. The two candidates have a task ahead of them to convince the about 28% undecided population before the election.
If you look at the difference between the two candidates, that's a 6% difference, and that 6% is significantly, it is significant, and I believe all of them need to work hard so that they can actually get to convince the 28% that are undecided.
At the same time, the survey has placed the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition's Raila Odinga and Martha Karua duo at 49% popularity amongst Nairobi electorate against their closest rival, Deputy President William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua team, who followed at 30%. Ruth's party's George Ojakoya and Justina Wamai had an approval rating of 5%, while Agano's David Wahiga and Ruth Mutua scored 0.3%.
In terms of he has good plans for the country, for Raila it was mentioned by only 19%, and that is his second highest reason for voting. For Dr. William Ruto, he has his highest at 41% for good plans for the country. Wajakoya beats them all in that category at 67%, that he has good plans for the country.
The survey, which was conducted between 2nd and 3rd July through computer-assisted telephone interviews, where a total of 1,024 residents were interviewed from all the 17 constituencies and 85 wards, indicated that 73% of Nairobians think the country is headed in the wrong direction, 11% in the right direction, while 14% are undecided as to whether the country is headed in the right or wrong direction.
Key among the things that was mentioned by 81% is the high cost of living. And I believe all of us can attest to that there's been an incremental high cost of living in all aspects of the things that we use at home. Talk of unga, talk of cost of fuel, cost of everything, virtually transportation, school fee, everything has gone up.
Grace Ongoi for TV Newswatch.
Do you answer that or I wait for more?
So much, Grace, for that report. Now, moving on, Nairobi Students Leaders Forum has today launched Nairobi Youth Peace Campaign dubbed Nairobi Nietu at Daystar University. The campaign aims at mobilizing the youth in participation of improving peace and capacity building to enhance response to conflict warnings. However, the youth have been cautioned to avoid being used in committing political violence that will hurt their future employability, as Dolly Murigi now tells us.
The involvement of youth in election violence in Kenya has been on an increase, a worrying trend as the country nears elections. Politicians from different political parties vying for various positions in the August 9th election have been accused of ferrying youth to political opponents' rallies to cause havoc and disruptions. For the previous election witnessed in the country, the highest percent involved in violence has been the youth, well known for receiving money to cause violence.
2007-2008 situation where out of a mere election, people lost their lives. We are for the first time in our country, IDPs, businesses closed, universities closed, schools closed, and we had a lot of turmoil in this country. We dare not take this for granted. Peace is so paramount. And therefore, the message that they are sending, election bill and norma, and to ensure that we have peace and we rally the communities together and our families.
In the electoral context, social media have been loaded as equalizers, enhancing the flow of information between candidates and voters. Yet they have also been misused to distort citizens' decision-making process. Kenya has experienced the consequences of disinformation, hate speech, and other harmful content in times of electoral campaigns. In recent years, addressing the spread of misinformation and other forms of harmful content has become more and more challenging with the increased use of social media.
As we are approaching the elections this year, it's 34 days or 33 days to the national election. We'd want to urge all the entire students' fraternity, all the youths within this country, to uphold peace, to desist from buying propaganda and use them as tools to cause tension between different parties, different communities.
Mwanasiasa anatumia 1 million kuweka billboard huko kwa barabara, anatumia pesa kununua posta, lakini wewe anakupatia 100. Huyo mwanasiasa amekudharau. Huyo mwanasiasa anataka ukae katika umaskini. So tunataka kuambia youth wote wa hii taifa ya kwamba waangalie kwa umakini mwanasiasa anawafaidi vipi.
However, there is a need for communities to build cohesion amongst themselves and with law enforcement agencies for speedier resolution of conflicts emerging from high political temperatures in the country by reaching all communities to promote peace.
Let us reach out to our friends in Luo community, reach out to our friends in Kikuyu community, let us reach out to our friends in Kalenjin and even other tribes. So mine is very just delighted that young people, student leaders cutting across this country today have come here to see that we initiate smart ways of encouraging that we have peace across our country.
So it is up to us as the youth. We are the make or break, because many times you find that we are the perpetrators, but we are not the brainchild of this violence.
Dolly Murigi, Hope TV, Nairobi.
Thank you so much, Dolly, for that report. Now, shifting gears to some political campaigns, and the UDA presidential candidate William Ruto has continued his campaigns in Marsabit County in an effort to popularize his bid ahead of the August 9 polls. Addressing his supporters in Marsabit town, Ruto vowed to restore security in the region, accusing cabinet secretaries and government officials charged with providing security in the region of engaging in politics. Accompanied by other Kenya Kwanza politicians, Ruto at the same time said his government will fix the economy, urging the residents to reject his opponent Raila Odinga, saying the handshake between the Azimio leader and President Uhuru Kenyatta is to blame for the high cost of living.
Huyu jamaa anaitwa William Ruto, rais wa 5 wa Kenya inshallah. Huyu amesimama na watu wa Northern Kenya. Wangapi watamchagua William Ruto? Mimi nilikuwa wale walipinga BBI. Na nilikuwa na sababu kubwa sana. BBI ya hiyo handshake brothers, huyo mzee wa kitendawili na ndugu yake Uhuru Kenyatta wakajaribu kusema pesa ya Marsabit ikatwe bilioni 1, pesa ya Isiolo ikatwe bilioni 2, pesa ya Garissa na Wajir na Mandera na Tana River ikatwe bilioni 3 na bilioni 4. Nyinyi mtapigia watu wanakata pesa ya Marsabit? Nyinyi mnakubali kukata pesa ya Marsabit?
Mimi nataka niwaambie, usalama ni haki yenu kama Wakenya. Usalama wa mifugo yenu ni haki yenu kama Wakenya. Usalama ya maisha yenu na watoto wenu na bibi zenu ni haki yenu kama Wakenya, na sio tafadhali. Mimi nasema hapa, wale askari wengi wanafanyishwa kazi ya siasa kwenda kuvuruga mikutano ya kisiasa. Tutakomesha hiyo kazi na tutahakikisha kwamba kuna askari ya kutosha kusimamia haki ya watu wa Marsabit kuwa na usalama yao, mifugo yao na ya watoto wao. I want to tell the fellows who are in charge of security, the people of Moyale, the people of Marsabit have lived in hell. Their property is not secure. They have lost livestock. They have lost lives while you conduct petty campaigns of the Kitendawili man. Your day is coming. 9th of August, we will send you packing together with...
Still on the Kenya Kwanza campaigns, and ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has led the Kenya Kwanza team in finalizing on the campaigns in the county of Vihiga, stating that he will run government affairs in Kenya Kwanza if they clinch power after the August polls. Mudavadi, who was in his backyard wooing voters to vote for DP William Ruto as the 5th president, also called on the electorate to vote for ANC candidate for the governor position.
Hawa jamaa walikuwa wanapenda kusema kwamba wana deep state. Ati hao ndio wanajua vile watapanga uchaguzi. Hao ndio watafanya vile wanajua ati Wakenya wasipate haki yao. Lakini sasa wenyewe ndio wameanza kulalamika kwamba mambo ni mabaya, mambo ni magumu. ODM has started showing signs of panic because they should not try and intimidate the IEBC or to give IEBC conditions when it is 34 days to the election. The law that is there is for all candidates and all Kenyans. You cannot try to change the law at this hour. So watu wa ODM, muache kutoa vitisho kwa IEBC. Muache kuambia watu mtasusia. Hii mambo ya kusema mnasusia ni dalili ya kuonyesha sasa ile opinion polls mmekuwa mkitoa za uongo, ati nyinyi mko mbele, mmeanza kuona dalili kwamba mtashindwa asubuhi na mapema.
Now moving on, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua have today received the endorsement of both the Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET. This happened during a breakfast meeting in Kiambu County that involved over 300 teachers from both unions. Speaking during the meeting, Martha Karua promised the teachers that if elected, the Azimio government will boost both the number of human resource and the benefits paid to teachers countrywide.
We are going to ensure that there are enough teachers in the classrooms. We have actually pledged to employ all the qualified teachers who are unemployed, and we will be able to roll out how we do that. At independence, we were fighting ignorance, poverty, and disease. Imagine instead of conquering those, we have added one more. Now the fourth, corruption. You know? So our commitment is to fight those four. And we have said education is going to be absolutely without payment in public schools from January next year. That will be from nursery to university.
As a union, we have no doubt that the Azimio coalition represents this country's best hopes for a united, democratic, and prosperous future. The coalition is led by true reformers and defenders of the poor. During the dark days of single-party rule, Honorable Raila Odinga and Honorable Martha Karua faced up to the challenge of dictatorship with all the determination they could master and ensured our liberation from the fangs of the corrupt regime. That, however, is history. More important than the activist background, these leaders have a solid experience in running government. Your Excellency, the teachers you see present here, I am very appreciative that all of them have shown the attitude to support without coercion.
Still in the county of Kiambu, and Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua have led the Azimio team in campaigning in the county of Kiambu as the hunt for Mount Kenya votes intensifies. Speaking during the campaign rally, Odinga assured the locals that there are concrete strategies to strengthen the country's economy and urged them to vote for the Azimio government in the upcoming August polls.
Najua mko na njaa, ni kweli au si kweli? Baba amesema atateremsha bei ya unga na gharama ya maisha. Baba atachunga vijana wapate kazi. Baba atachunga wamama, na wazee mkiniona mkumbuke wamama ndio wanamchunga. Kwa hivyo baba atachunga kila mtu. Mtatupatia kura watu wetu. Tunaomba heshima, wale tunashindana na wao ni Wakenya kama sisi na ni madugu wetu, lakini kila mtu apewe ile kazi inamfaa.
Tunataka kusaidia vijana wengine kwa upande ya ajira. Wale ambao wanataka kuanzisha biashara yao wenyewe, tutaanza sasa hazina mpya. Pale ambao wataenda kwenda kukopa pesa kuanzisha biashara yako na ulipi chochote mpaka baada ya miaka 7. Sawa? Sawa? Hata wale watu wa jua kali tutawasaidia. Wale watu wa bodaboda tutawasaidia. Bodaboda na wale watu wa jua kali tutaleta hazina pale ambapo naweza kukopa pesa kwa gharama ya chini. Sawa? Na watu jua kali tutawatambua. Inaitwa recognition of prior learning, RPL. Yani wewe labda uko na ile certificate ya shule, lakini kazi yako wewe unajua vizuri. Wewe unajua kuchoma vyuma, wewe ni welder, sio? Mwingine ni kama mechanic, sio? Mwingine ni electrician. Mwingine ni plumber. Mwingine ni carpenter. Sivyo? Mwingine ni mwashi, sio? Wote tutawapatia inaitwa a certificate of prior learning, shahada ya jitihada, na ukiwa na hiyo unaweza kupata kandarasi ya serikali.
And that story takes us to a first commercial break, but we'll still have more news for you after this. We'll be back in a short while. See you on the other side.
TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the government has extended the dusk to dawn curfew in parts of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot counties for another 30 days, so as to boost security in the area. Speaking today at the Narok Teachers Training College, the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Maali Mohammed said there has been a great improvement during the 30 days curfew that was imposed on the 7th of June, as many weapons have been recovered and peace restored in the area.
Vile mnavyojua, tarehe 7 mwezi uliopita tumeweza kutangaza amri ya kutotoka nje kuanzia saa 12 ya jioni hadi saa 12 asubuhi katika sehemu za kaunti za Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet na West Pokot. Na hiyo amri ya kutotoka ya siku 30 unafikia kikomo leo. Na kwa sababu tumeona matunda ya hiyo dusk to dawn curfew, tumeweza kupata silaha kwa wingi, mambo ya amani umeshuhudiwa, kuna hali ya utulivu. Nataka nitangaze ya kuwa hiyo mambo ya kutotoka nje tutakuwa tumeongezea siku 30 zaidi. We are going to extend the dusk to dawn curfew by another 30 days effective tomorrow, so that tunaweza kuwezesha kazi hiyo mzuri ambayo imefanyika iweze kuendelea. Na pia kwa sababu tumeona hao wahalifu wameanza kutorokea sehemu zingine kama sehemu za Turkana kusini, Turkana mashariki, na pia katika sehemu za Pokot kaskazini, ila tunasema Turkana South, Turkana East na Pokot North sub-counties for another 30 days. So we are going to extend the dusk to dawn curfew for another 30 days effective tomorrow.
Still on matters security, and the Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has called on the security agencies to stay vigilant ahead of the August 9 polls. Elungata, who was accompanied by Regional Police Commander Titus Karuri, said vigilance is necessary following increased political campaigns and activities ahead of the polls, at the same time reiterating that the security agents will be extra vigilant before, during and after the campaign period to curb any threat of political violence.
The government imeangalia kwamba katika hii campaign the issues that could come up, one of them is ideological difference. Unajua watu wanaweza kukosana kwa itikadi. Wanaweza kukosana kwa itikadi. Huyu anasema hii, huyu anasema vile. Lakini it's important as people charged with good order, with maintaining good order, that we ensure that that does not create a problem. Kuna watu watazungumza vibaya, they will incite, there will be incitement. Of course, tuna media yetu hapa, you will notice there's bias in media reporting. Well, unaona tu kama sasa tuko hapa, we are talking good things, lakini kesho ukisoma gazeti, it says something different. So we should look out for that. Na kueleza mwananchi hapana, hiyo, that is not what we discussed. That's something different. And of course, misinformation. There's bias and there's misinformation. Watu watadanganywa. Alafu, you will expect to see organized criminal gangs. So that's something we must look out for. If you look at your area of jurisdiction, do you have an organized criminal gang? Kama uko Madogo, tunajua kuna criminal gangs. Ingine inaitwa Kayole, sijui ingine inaitwa nini. Bangale the same. So you should be on the lookout for that kind of thing.
Now, Narok residents are set to benefit from the ongoing construction of 7.7 kilometers of tarmacked roads, which are expected to be complete by March next year. Speaking when he led the Region Development Implementation Coordination Committee to inspect the road, which will cost 680 million shillings, the Rift Valley Region Commissioner Mali Mohammed said once completed, the road will help curb the flash floods experienced in the town during prolonged rainy seasons.
Tunajua barabara hii itakuwa ni ya muhimu sana katika sehemu ya Narok. Ingawa hatukuwa hapa, tumeshuhudia mara kwa mara mambo ya mafuriko katika hii town ya Narok, na nimeambiwa viongozi na washikadau waliweza kuomba Mheshimiwa Rais aweze kuwafanya mambo ya barabara na mambo ya hizi madaraja, na akatoa agizo na Kenya Urban Roads Authority wakaanza hii kazi. Ile tunasema ni ya kuwa serikali ya Mheshimiwa Rais ama serikali kuu kama mwakilishi wa serikali kuu na mwenyekiti wa ile tunasema Regional Development Implementation Coordination Committee. Sisi hatuanzishi mradi yote serikali ikiwa hatuna uhakika itaweza kumaliziwa. Ile tunasema stalled projects hatukubali kama serikali, tukianza ni lazima tuimalize. Kwa hivyo tunataka kuchukua hii nafasi kuhakikishia wakazi wa Narok ya kuwa hii mradi tutaimalizia. Kulingana na contractor alikuwa amalize mwaka wa 2023 mwezi wa 3 huko, lakini kuna njia mingi ya kuhakikisha hiyo mradi hata imekuja mbele kuona ya kuwa ameweza kufanya kazi usiku na mchana, na mambo ya usalama na mambo mengine ataweza kuangaliwa.
Shifting gears to some international news, and the World Health Organization's Monkeypox Emergency Committee is set to reconvene next week, but one as cases surge globally. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom has said that testing remains a challenge, and it's highly probable a significant number of cases are not being picked up. At its previous meeting on the 27th of June, the committee decided that the outbreak, which has seen cases rise globally, was not yet a health emergency.
My teams are following the data closely. I plan to reconvene the emergency committee so they are updated on the current epidemiology and evolution of the outbreak and implementation of countermeasures. I will bring them together during the week of 18th July or sooner if needed.
Moving on, a British Minister for Children and Families, Will Queen's, is the latest UK minister to resign. A day after Health Minister Sajid Javid and Finance Minister Rishi Sunak announced their resignation within minutes of each other, plunging Boris Johnson's government into crisis weeks after the Prime Minister survived a vote of no confidence. The resignations came as Johnson was apologizing for appointing a lawmaker to a role involved in offering pastoral care to his party, even after being briefed that the politician had been the subject of complaints about sexual misconduct.
I was aware back in 2019, I was made aware of a specific allegation against Chris Pincher that was resolved.
Last week, when fresh allegations arose, the Prime Minister did not immediately recall the conversation in late 2019 about this incident. As soon as he was reminded, the number 10 press office corrected their public lies.
US President Joe Biden is still considering whether to cut Trump-era tariffs on imports from China as a way to throttle back on inflation, which comes amid a rise in calls from the industry to keep the tariffs in place, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre declined to provide a timeline for Biden's decision after she was asked whether Biden will wait until after speaking with Chinese President Xi Jinping. More than 400 requests to keep tariffs in place on Chinese goods had been submitted to the U.S. Trade Representative's office as of Tuesday.
The President's team is continuing to look at our options on how to move forward. As you know, for the President and President Xi had a conversation back in March, and we continue to leave all communications lines open from the President on down.
Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Hope Junction. We play the latest jams.
You're changing my aptitude. My heart is yours. For you alone, for you alone.
Plus your requests. If your favorite song tells your story better, let the whole world hear it.
Welcome back. Now let's get down to business. The KPLC Inaugural Manufacturers, Technology and Innovation Expo kicked off today at the KICC under the theme of affordable, clean and sustainable energy for all. The expo, which will go on until Friday, has attracted 37 local and international original equipment manufacturers of the grid and ancillary solutions that demonstrate business efficiency, cost effectiveness, quality service and positive customer experience. The event will offer participants an unrivaled platform to exchange ideas, benchmark against their peers, and identify potential areas of collaboration with like-minded organizations.
It is a time for us to reflect, look at the journey that we have been able to travel, and make learnings from it, and position ourselves to the next 100 years. Because the world is changing, the technologies are changing, and the expectations of customers are changing. And that is why we have invited exhibitors from all over the world, in the region, and even within the country, innovators, so that we can be able to see the trend of technologies and adopt them for the future, because we need to position our business for success going forward. We've been able to be around for the last 100 years. We need to make the next 100 years better than the first 100 years. And the challenges are more, and the expectations from Kenyans and from other stakeholders are more.
Moving on, the United Kingdom trade envoy to Kenya, Theo Clark, has resigned, citing lack of confidence in Prime Minister Boris Johnson's administration, which is rocked by scandal. In a resignation letter, Clark noted that she could no longer work with Johnson, whom she accused of taking matters of sexual misconduct lightly, citing an incident where the Prime Minister elevated a colleague facing sexual misconduct to a position of pastoral care for MPs. While she has relinquished her position, Clark pointed out that she is proud to have performed her duties to her very best. And finally, Tesla company, which is owned by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, faces a series of hurdles ranging from production snags to rising inflation that may hit profits, as the electric car maker reported a fall in deliveries for the first time in 2 years. Stung by China's COVID-19 lockdowns and soaring costs, Tesla says it delivered over 200,000 in the second quarter, down about 18% from the first quarter. The world's largest electric car maker shares fell more than 3%, but reversed cost to close up to 2.6%, benefiting from a rally in growth stocks. So far this year, the stock has lost about a third of its value. And now to some sporting action, and the Kenya 15s rugby head coach Paul Odera has made 3 changes in the Simba's lineup as they face Algeria in the Rugby World Cup qualifiers semi-final match tonight in France. Odera has rested Vincent Onyala and Collins Injera due to injuries, with Martin Owila replacing Brian Juma as the substitute lock. All other positions remain unchanged. The final is slated for the 10th of July, with the winner of the tournament earning a direct qualification to the 2023 World Cup. Moving on, Athletic Bilbao forward Inaki Williams has announced that he will switch his allegiance from Spain to Ghana with the hope of representing the country at the 2022 World Cup. Born in Bilbao to Ghanaian parents, the 28-year-old Williams, whose younger brother Nico also plays for Athletic Bilbao, was capped once by Spain in a 2016 friendly match. Inaki's availability for Ghana comes as a huge boost ahead of this year's World Cup in Qatar, where the 2010 quarterfinalists will face Portugal, Uruguay and South Korea in Group H. And finally, Paul Pogba is set to rejoin Juventus on a free transfer after his Manchester United contract expired. It is understood that the 29-year-old France midfielder will have a medical at the weekend before completing the move. Pogba joined United from the Italian side in 2016 for then a world record fee of £89 million. United and Pogba failed to agree on a new contract, and the club confirmed at the start of June that he will leave as a free agent this summer. And that's it for the sports news and for the bulletin tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. On behalf of the whole team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and Boniface Muridi has been the sign language interpreter. Enjoy the rest of our programming.